It's just for fun. Why are you so serious? I returned the original words to her. Author, the Pika hammer who rebelled against Tiangang. It's just for fun. Why are you so serious? I returned the original words to her. The noise made my head hurt. Chun Lei came over, cigarette in the corner of his mouth, and raised his chin towards the opposite side of the booth. Brother, you don't care? I followed his gaze. Soo-won was being toasted by two unknown men. She wore a black suspender belt today, her back was almost completely empty, and the waist of her jeans was ridiculously low. When she bent over, she could see the small butterfly tattoo on her waist. She laughed so hard that one of the men put his hand on her bare shoulder, but she didn't hide. What does it matter? I looked away and took a sip of wine. Chun Lei was anxious. Isn't this too damn borderless? You are her boyfriend. I put the cup down, leaned back on the sofa, and laughed. She's just a girlfriend, not a wife. Chun Lei was stunned. I patted his shoulder and said in a light voice, It's just for fun. Why are you so serious? Soo-won seemed to sense something and suddenly turned back to look at me. Drunk-eyed, he blew a kiss at me. I also raised my glass to her and smiled brighter than her. You really treat yourself like a dish. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I took Soo-won back to the apartment. Her whole body was hanging on me, her breath mixed with alcohol was sprayed on my neck, and she called my name vaguely. Lu Yanzhou, are you angry today? No. I put her on the shoe stool in the hallway and bent down to take off her high heels. She suddenly reached out and held my face, looked at me with drunken eyes for several seconds, and then came up to kiss me. My lips were hot, with the bitter taste of agave. I paused and responded to her. What happened next was a matter of course. Soo-won was very clingy when we were in bed, burrowing into my arms like a kitten, talking intermittent nonsense such as, "You're the best," and "I like you even though I don't like anyone else." I listened and said nothing. She probably thinks she is good at talking about love. After she was done, she went to take a shower, and I leaned on the bedside to check my phone. In the circle of friends, Chun Lei posted a video of tonight with the text, "Mr. Liu went crazy tonight." In the video, I was drinking with a customer, and Soo-won was punching with others next to me. We both seemed to be doing our own thing, and had nothing to do with each other. Chun Lei commented below, "You two are truly the most outrageous couple I have ever seen." I replied with a dog head expression. At this time, Soo-won's cell phone that was thrown on the bedside table vibrated. The screen lit up, and a WeChat message popped up with the name Lin Yusen. Message content. I had a great time tonight. Can we have a date alone next time? I stared at the message for 2 seconds, then put the phone back as it was and continued to scroll through my moments. Soo-won came out of the bathroom wiping her hair, wrapped loosely in a towel, and sat down next to me, leaning her head on my shoulder. Whose news? I heard the phone ringing. I don't know. You can see for yourself. She reached for her phone, unlocked it, and glanced at it. Her expression didn't change at all. She replied a few words casually, then stuffed the phone under the pillow, turned over, and hugged my waist. I'm sleepy. Go to sleep. Yeah. I turned off the bedside lamp. She arched in my arms in the darkness, and her breathing became even after a while. I opened my eyes and looked at the ceiling, thinking about the 3 words Lin Yusen on the message. She met Lin Yusen at an outdoor music festival last month. He is a photographer, with long hair in a braid, and an earring in his left ear. His circle of friends is full of black and white photos of artistic people, accompanied by some incomprehensible poems. Soo-won said he was extremely interesting and talented. What did I say then? Oh yes, I said. Then you should communicate more with others. Soo-won was stunned for a moment and asked me what I meant. When I say it doesn't mean anything, I mean it literally. She seemed a little unhappy at the time, but she was quickly called away by a phone call, saying that Lin Yusen had invited her to take a group of night portraits. She put on makeup for 2 hours and went out. She came back at 1 o'clock in the morning with mud on her heels and grass clippings in her hair. I asked her how the shoot went. She said it was very good and showed me the original film in the camera. In the photo, she was standing on an abandoned iron bridge, wearing a red skirt. The wind blew up the skirt, and the sky behind was gray-blue. Really well shot. If you ignore the hand holding her waist in the corner of the photo. But none of this matters. It really doesn't matter. Soo-won and I have been together for 2 years. We first met each other through a game played by friends. She sat next to me and started boxing with me. I felt so happy when I lost and drank. At that time, I thought this girl had a really good personality, cheerful, generous, and not pretentious, unlike those coy girls outside. Later I learned that a girl who is not pretentious, defensive, or distanced from all members of the opposite sex is a huge surprise. You can never tell whether she is special to you, or if you're just like everyone else. You never know what kind of relationship she has with those brothers, friends, and old classmates in various situations. You would never guess how many things you don't know and don't want to know are hidden behind her words of just friends. But I did mention breaking up. Firstly, it's because I'm lazy, and secondly, I feel it's unnecessary. Falling in love is not a marriage. If you're not happy, you can leave at any time. There is no need to go up and down the line. She can play if she likes and eat with whomever she likes. I, Lu Yanzhou, don't care or care. After all, she is just a girlfriend, not a wife. This state of affairs lasted for most of the year, until that Saturday morning. Soo-won came out of the bathroom with a bad look on her face. She stood at the door of the bedroom, holding a white object in her hand. Her expression could not be said to be nervous, excited, or both. Lu Yanzhou. She called me. I looked up from the phone screen. Huh. I am pregnant. A few words fell down lightly, like a stone thrown into a calm lake. I looked at the pregnancy test stick in her hand. The 2 red lines on it were clear. The expression on my face probably didn't change, because I saw a trace of confusion flash in Soo-won's eyes. She was probably expecting me to show surprise, panic, or some kind of excitement. But I didn't. I just locked the screen of my phone, put it on the coffee table, leaned back on the sofa, and looked at her calmly. What do you think? I asked. Soo-won came over and sat down next to me. Her voice was much lower than usual. I want to give birth. Loo Yen-jo. She turned to look at me, her eyes a little red. Let's get married. When she said this, she put her hand on the back of my hand, and her fingertips felt a little cold. Her expression was very serious. So serious that I felt that the woman in front of me was not the same person as the Soo-won who fisted with a strange man in the bar that night. I said nothing. Soo-won may have interpreted my silence as hesitation. She began to explain, speaking very quickly, as if she was afraid of being interrupted. I know we have never talked about this seriously before, but now that we have children, I think this is an opportunity. We can dash. Soo-won. I interrupted her. She stopped and looked at me. I took my hand out from under hers, stood up, and walked to the window. It was a Saturday morning in the city outside. The sun was shining brightly, and there was a long queue at the breakfast stall downstairs. Everything was operating normally, just like any ordinary weekend. Whose child is it? I asked. The air was quiet for about 3 seconds. What did you say? Soo-won's voice came from behind, trembling with disbelief. I turned around, looked into her eyes, and repeated word for word. Whose child is it? Soo-won's face suddenly turned red. She stood up from the sofa and raised her voice an octave. Loo Yen-jo, are you sick? What do you mean? Do you doubt me? I didn't doubt you. My tone was calm. I was asking you. You're just doubting me. Who else could it be besides you? I'm your girlfriend. Do you think I'm messing around outside? The more she spoke, the more excited she became, and her tears began to fall down. She looked extremely aggrieved, as if I was making trouble unreasonably, as if I had let down her sincerity. If this happened in the past, I would probably be soft-hearted. But now, I just find it a little funny. Soo-won, let's be reasonable. I leaned on the windowsill and crossed my arms. Think about it for yourself. How many things are you hiding from me? How many times have you and Lin Yusin gone out alone? When you went to the music festival, you said you were with your best friend, but my friend saw him there. How do you explain that you were holding hands with a man with long hair? Last month, you went on a business trip to Sanya and posted 9 photos on your WeChat moments. None of them mentioned me. Instead, you took a photo with a man face-to-face and captioned it, "Thank you for meeting me." What does meeting mean? Soo-won's cry was a little quieter, but she was still sobbing. Those are all friends. How many times have I told you Lin Yusin is the photographer, and we are a cooperative relationship? The one in Sanya is my colleague, and our entire department went together. The group photo was taken together by everyone. I just cropped a dash. It's a very clever decision. It's just the two of you. Loo Yen-jo. She almost yelled. Do you want to be responsible? If you don't want to get married, just say so, and don't throw dirty water on me. Looking at the hysterical woman in front of me, I suddenly felt exhausted. I've thought about this issue very clearly, but she never gave me a suitable time to say it. Now the time has come, and although it's not good, it's good enough. Soo-won. I called her name. I had a sterilization. The crying stopped suddenly. Soo-won froze on the spot, her eyes widened and her mouth slightly open, like a fish that had been photographed ashore. There were still tears on her eyelashes, but there were no more new tears in her eyes. Wah, what? Her voice was dry, as if someone had strangled her throat. It was done last year. I was allergic to rubber, so I had it sterilized. I thought I would unblock the child in the future, but I didn't expect it to happen. I took out a cigarette from my pocket, smoked one, and held it in my mouth without lighting it. I went to the hospital to check. The sterilization was very successful and the sperm viability was 0. So dash. I tilted my head to look at her, and the corners of my mouth curved. Can you explain to me how this child came to be? Soo-won's face turned from red to white, and then from white to gray. As if her bones had been taken away from her whole body, she slowly fell back onto the sofa. Her hands were shaking, her lips were shaking, and her eyes were looking around in panic, but she didn't dare to look at me. I don't know, You do not know? Loo Yen-jo, I really don't know, I can't possibly. Lin Yusin and I. She suddenly paused when she said this, as if she realized she had missed something. I laughed. Lin Yusin, right? I took the cigarette out of my mouth and rolled it around my fingertips twice, so you guys did sleep together. This is not a question, this is a statement. Soo-won raised her head suddenly, tears welling up again. She rushed over and hugged my legs, crying heartbreakingly. I'm sorry, Loo Yen-jo. I was wrong. I drank too much that time. I really drank too much. I didn't know what I was doing. And just once, I thought the child must be yours. I looked down at this woman kneeling on the ground crying, and I couldn't explain how I felt. Disappointment? Of course there is. Angry? A little bit too. But what's more is a kind of relief, a kind of peace that the dust has settled. It was like the boot hanging above my head had finally fallen off, and I no longer had to wait in fear. Once, I knelt down and looked at her level. Soo-won, do you believe it yourself? Her cry paused, then started wailing louder again. Okay. I broke away her fingers holding my trouser legs and stood up. Stop crying. Crying can't solve the problem. Loo Yen-jo, give me another chance, okay? I'm done with him. I'll block him immediately. I'll never associate with any man again. Give me a chance, dash. As she spoke, she reached for the mobile phone on the coffee table. Her hands were shaking so much that she had to unlock it several times without being able to unlock it. I reached for her phone and put it aside. Soo-won. I looked at her. My tone as calm as a bowl of cold porridge. It's late. It's not too late. It's not too late. The child can be aborted. I'll abort it. Let's start over, dash. You still don't understand, I interrupted her. The problem is not with the child, but with you. You have never taken the word boundary seriously from the beginning to the end. You think that being friends with men means you have a good personality. You think that being flirted with by other men and not rejecting them means that you are magnanimous. And you think that your boyfriend doesn't care because he doesn't care. You are wrong. I took a step back and distanced myself from her. It's not that I don't care, it's that I don't care about you anymore. When I said these words, I saw the last light in Sue Wan's eyes extinguished. She was slumped next to the coffee table, her hair was disheveled, her makeup was stained, and her eyeliner left 2 dark marks on her face, looking extremely embarrassed. I turned around and walked into the bedroom, pulled a suitcase out of the closet and started throwing her things in it. Clothes, skincare products, chargers, and her messy gadgets were all stuffed in. It only lasts 10 minutes. I dragged the box back to the living room. Sue Wan still maintained the same posture as before, just raised her head and looked at me, her eyes as red and swollen as 2 walnuts. All your things are here. I stood the box in front of her. If you're missing anything, send me a WeChat message and I will send it to you. Leave the key. She didn't pick up the box, but just stared at me, her lips trembling for a long time, and she managed to say, Lu Yanzhou, are you so heartless? I laughed. Sue Wan, why didn't you think about these words when you were sleeping with others? I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Oh, you were drunk. I nodded. Then next time you kill someone while drunk, can you tell the police that you didn't mean it? She opened her mouth but couldn't speak. I squatted down and took off the key hanging from her neck. I moved very gently, as if I was taking apart a fragile item. Sue Wan, actually, I've always wanted to say something to you. I put the key in my pocket and looked into her eyes. As a human being, you can't have double standards. When you are playing outside, you feel that it doesn't matter. You feel that you are attractive. You feel that your boyfriend is too controlling to care about you. When something goes wrong, you want your boyfriend to be the one to take over. Why? I don't. Do you know it in your heart? You came to me as soon as you were pregnant and asked me to marry you. Who do you think I am in your heart? A spare tire? An honest person? Or do you think I, Lu Yanzhou, am a big scapegoat? She was crying so much that she couldn't speak complete words. She just shook her head. I don't want to hear any more. Let's go. I stood up and pointed to the door. Lin Yusen is waiting for you. He made you pregnant, so he has to be responsible, right? He won't be responsible. What does that have to do with me? I looked at her and said, I'm not your husband. I'm your ex-boyfriend. From tomorrow on, your ex-boyfriend doesn't count. He's just a passerby. I pushed the suitcase to her feet, turned around, walked to the door, and opened it. The draft from the corridor blew in, carrying the smell of oil smoke from the breakfast stall downstairs. Sue Wan was sitting on the floor in the living room. She stopped crying and stopped making trouble. She just looked at me blankly, her eyes empty, like a drowning person looking at people walking farther and farther away from the shore. I knew she was waiting for me to relent. Every time we had a fight in the past, I ended up relenting. She shed a few tears, acted coquettishly, and said a few soft words, so I thought forget it. Why bother with a girl? Let her do it. But not this time. This matter is non-negotiable. If you step on some bottom lines, you just step on them, no matter whether you are drunk or not, no matter how much you regret it, no matter how unfair you think it is. This is the adult world. If you make a choice, you have to bear the consequences. No one will pay for your mistakes. I gave her one last look. So one, Wouvier. She finally stood up, dragging the box with her, and walked towards the door step by step. When she passed by me, she stopped for a moment, turned her head and looked at me, and moved her lips as if she was waiting for me to say something. I didn't say anything. She lowered her head and walked out of the door. I closed the door, locked it, then leaned against the door panel and let out a long breath. The phone rang. It's Chun-Lei calling. Hey brother, do you want to come out for breakfast? I drank too much last night, and my stomach feels uncomfortable. I want to have a bowl of porridge dash. Okay, I said, the same place. Okay, Chun-Lei on the other end of the phone paused. Why is your voice a little hoarse? Do you have a cold? It's okay, I just had a cigarette. Okay, see you later. I hung up the phone and walked to the bathroom to wash my face. The self in the mirror looked unchanged, with the same expression that was neither salty nor bland, as if nothing had happened just now. But I know in my heart that some things are different after all. 2 years of relationship, let go as soon as you want. How can it be so easy? I'm not made of stone. Sue Wan stepped on my bottom line, but she did give me many happy moments before. She has a beautiful smile, is cute when she acts coquettishly, and when she does things seriously, there's a light about her that makes people unable to take their eyes away. But all this is past. One cannot live by memories. I changed my clothes, picked up my phone, and saw a WeChat message from Sue Wan. It was a long, short essay. I deleted the dialog box without clicking it. Then, I blocked her on WeChat. The phone is blocked. Unblock Weibo, unblock Zaihongshu, and unblock Douyin. All social platforms should be cleaned up. After doing all this, I stared at the phone screen for 3 seconds, then opened the address book, found Sue Wan's name, and pressed the delete key. Mobile phone prompt. Do you confirm to delete the contact? I clicked confirm. The screen flashed, and Sue Wan's profile picture disappeared. I locked the screen, put my phone in my pocket, opened the door, and went downstairs. Chun-Lei was waiting for me at his old place, a porridge shop hidden in an old neighborhood that has been open for more than 20 years. The owner is a Cantonese uncle who makes excellent preserved egg and lean meat porridge. When I arrived, Chun-Lei had already eaten. There was a bowl of porridge, 2 fried dough sticks, and a plate of pickles in front of him, and he was slurping away deliciously. So slow. He raised his head and glanced at me, then froze. Damn it, why do you look so bad? It's okay. I sat down and asked the boss to bring me a bowl of preserved egg and lean meat porridge. Chanlei looked at me suspiciously. The fried dough stick in his hand stopped in midair. Something's wrong. There's definitely something wrong with you. Did you have a fight with Suwon? It's divided. 2 words, an understatement. Chanlei's fried dough sticks fell into the porridge bowl. Break up? He raised his voice 3 times, causing people at the 2 tables next to him to look over. Wait a minute. What does break up mean? Break up? When did it happen? Half an hour ago. F***CK. Chanlei slapped his chopsticks on the table. Why? Aren't you two very nice? Didn't you drink together last night? When the porridge came, I picked up the spoon, stirred it, and blew in the hot air. She's pregnant. Chanlei's chin almost fell into the bowl. Then we want to get married. Why are you running? The child is not mine. The air was quiet. Chanlei's expression changed from shock to confusion to anger, and finally stopped at a position of I fucking knew it. Whose? He asked in a low voice. A guy named Lin Yusen is a photographer. I just said there's something wrong with that long-haired guy. Chanlei pounded the table and his spoon jumped twice. Last time in Sanya, I saw him hugging your wife. No, taking a selfie with his arms around Suwon's shoulders. I told you, and you said it was okay. Look, did something happen? Wait a minute, Chanlei suddenly reacted. How are you sure the child is not yours? What if? I had a sterilization. It was done last year. Chanlei was completely silent. He stared at me for a full 10 seconds and then slowly uttered one word. Cruel. It won't work if you don't do it harshly. Besides, it's not like the ligation can't be unblocked. Then how do you feel now? Chanlei took the fried dough sticks out of the porridge and carefully took a bite. The relationship of 2 years has been broken off. Don't you feel uncomfortable? It's uncomfortable. I took a sip of the porridge. The salty aroma was piping hot, but more importantly, I feel relaxed. It seems like the burden I've been carrying for a long time has finally been lifted off. This is the truth. Suwon, at best, is warm and cheerful, but at worst, she has no sense of boundaries. During the 6 months I've been with her, my life has been like a roller coaster. Every now and then, I have to be unhappy because of her affairs with other men. She always thinks that there is nothing wrong with her. She always thinks that I am being petty, and she always thinks that she is just a friend. Enough of this kind of life. Then what are you going to do next? Chanlei asked. You should eat and drink. What else can you do? Brother, this is what I accept from you. If the sky falls, I can use it as a quilt to cover you. I laughed and didn't answer. Of course, when the sky falls, it cannot be used as a quilt, but I think about this issue very clearly. Suwon made a mistake. I paid the price, and that's the end of the matter. It won't do anyone any good to keep entangled, so it's better to just end it and start over. After dinner, I went home and packed up all Suwon's remaining things in the house. Her toothbrush, her slippers, her facial mask, her dolls, and the pot of dying pothos she raised on the balcony were all packed and stuffed into the corner of the storage room, waiting for her to be picked up one day. When I was cleaning up the bedroom, I found a photo in the drawer of the bedside table. It was taken when we first got together. In front of the carousel in the amusement park, she put her arms around my neck. I grinned a little sheepishly and she smiled brighter, her eyes curved into 2 crescents. Suwon looked so good at that time. I turned the photo over, and there were words written by her on the back. Lu Yanzhou and Suwon, the 100th day together. I looked at it for 3 seconds and then threw the photo into a trash bag. In the afternoon, my phone started vibrating like crazy. Suwon called me from someone else's cell phone. After I answered the first call, I heard her voice and hung up immediately. Then she changed her number and called again, so I simply turned on Do Not Disturb mode, allowing only contacts in my address book to call. Then she started sending me messages on various social platforms. Send me private messages on Weibo, leave messages on Alipay transfers, and even send me messages on the platform where we usually order takeout. All the messages said the same thing. She was wrong. She regretted it. She was going to abort the child tomorrow and begged me to give her a chance. I didn't reply to any of them. I blocked them all. In the evening, one of Suwon's best friends called me. This girl's name is Zhang Xining. I've met her a few times, and I can talk to her fairly well. Lu Yanzhou, Suwon is here with me. She has been crying all day and hasn't even taken a sip of water. Can you? That's her business, not mine. Are you so cruel? She really knows she was wrong. She has broken up with that Lin Yusen dash. If it breaks, you can restart it. I interrupted her. A dog can't change its habit of eating shit. Zhang Xining was silent for a few seconds. Are you really not going to forgive her? There is no need to discuss this issue. Even if we look at our friendship over the past 2 years. Zhang Xining, I laughed. If you were a man and your girlfriend slept with someone else outside and told you she was pregnant when she came back, would you forgive her because of the past relationship? There was silence on the other end of the phone. Compare yourself to others, I said. Don't stand and talk without your back hurting. Then I hung up. In the next 3 days, Suwon tried to contact me in various ways. She even asked Chanlei to be a lobbyist. Chanlei hesitated on the phone for a long time and finally said, Brother, she said she stood downstairs in your house all night. I think she is quite pitiful. Then you go comfort her. I said, You're single anyway. Forget it, just pretend I didn't say it. On the 4th day, Suwon finally stopped. I thought the incident was over and started rearranging my life. I used to go shopping, watch movies, and participate in all kinds of weird games with her on weekends. Now that I suddenly had a lot of free time, I got a fitness card and signed up for a photography class. Yes, it was a photography class. I wanted to see what magic this thing has. As a result, on the first weekend in the photography class, I encountered something that made my blood pressure soar. Lin Yusen is a guest lecturer at that photography agency. It's really a narrow road between enemies. Wearing that iconic linen shirt, with his long hair tied back and the earring in his left ear replaced with a turquoise stone, he stood on the podium and talked eloquently about the essence of photography is to discover life outside of life. There were a group of little girls sitting under the stage, looking at him with bright eyes, admiration written all over their faces. I found a seat in the last row and sat down, crossed my arms, and looked at the man who had made my ex-girlfriend's belly look expressionless. During the break, a staff member came in and said a few words in Lin Yuson's ear. His expression changed, and then he glanced in my direction. I smiled at him. Not a friendly smile. I know what you did kind of smile. Lin Yuson's Adam's apple moved, and then he walked over. Are you Lu Yanzhou? It's me. What are you here for? Learn photography. I spread my hands. Can't you? He lowered his voice. Are you here to trouble me? You're overthinking. I leaned back on the chair and crossed my legs. I'm just curious and want to see how attractive the man Soo-won would rather betray me and sleep with his. Now that I've seen him, that's all. His face turned red all of a sudden. He clenched and unclenched his fists and finally squeezed out a sentence. You've broken up with her, and her affairs have nothing to do with you. It really has nothing to do with me, I nodded. Then can you tell me what you plan to do with the child in Soo-won's belly? Lin Yuson's expression completely froze. His lips moved a few times, his eyes began to wander, and then he said something that I will never forget in my life. What kid? Did you make a mistake? I just had dinner with her a few times and nothing happened. I looked at him and smiled. Nothing happened? Yes, she and I are just ordinary friends. Then what were you panicking about just now? I'm not panicking, I just think you're inexplicable Dash. Okay, I stood up and patted his shoulder. A man's mouth is a liar. Go tell Sue on this and see if she believes it. I turned around and walked out, looking back at him when I reached the door. Lin Yuson stood there, his face ashen, and a layer of fine beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. He looked extremely guilty. That night, I received a call from an unknown number. The next one was Lin Yuson's voice. He sounded like he was in a very quiet place, and his voice was very low. Lu Yanzhou, can we just let this matter go? I'll apologize to you, and let's just pretend that nothing happened. Are you apologizing to me? I thought it was funny. It was Soo-won's belly that you made bigger, not mine. I didn't mean that, I meant. Lin Yuson, I interrupted him. Are you not planning to be responsible for Soo-won at all? There was silence on the other end of the phone for a long time. I'm just having fun with her. He finally told the truth. We are all adults. You and I agree on this kind of thing. It's not about irresponsibility. And dash. He paused, with a hint of imperceptible contempt in his voice. You should know better than me what she looks like. This kind of woman can be just for fun, but can you marry her home? Forget it. I held the phone and said nothing. Although what he said was unpleasant, to a certain extent, what he said was not wrong. Soo-won is indeed not a suitable candidate for marriage. She is too playful, has no sense of propriety, and is too easily aroused by other men. Such a woman is a jerk to anyone she is with. But the crux of the matter is, you're right, I said, you really can't marry this kind of woman. But you know you can't marry, so you still sleep with her? Why don't you think about the consequences when you sleep? Lin Yuson said nothing. Now that something has happened, are you trying to run away as soon as you throw your hands away? I laughed. Teacher Lin, do you think you are particularly cool? Then what do you want? His tone became nervous. I don't want anything to happen. I just want to tell you one thing. Soo-won can't find you now, right? You don't answer her calls or send messages when she calls you, right? Silence continued on the other end of the phone. She is downstairs in my house now, crying like an idiot. What do you think I should do? That's your business. Our business. I sneered. Lin Yuson, what the hell did you do, and now you want me to wipe your ass? Do you think that I, Lu Yanzhou, was born to take over? I hung up the phone. Throwing the phone on the sofa, I walked to the window and took a look down. Next to the street lamp in the community downstairs, Soo-won stood there wrapped in a thin coat, looking up at the window of my house. It was too far away to see her expression clearly, but that posture and that slightly stooped back looked extremely pitiful. If a passerby who didn't know the cause and effect passed by, he would probably think that this was a poor girl abandoned by a scumbag. But I know the truth. So my heart is not softened at all. The phone rang again. This time it was Soo-won. I answered, wanting to hear what else she had to say. Lu Yanzhou. Her voice was hoarse, as if sandpaper had been rubbed against glass. Lin Yuson blocked me. Oh. He doesn't answer my calls, doesn't reply to my messages, Isn't that normal? I leaned against the window frame. You think you have met true love, but people just treat you as a prostitute for free. What is this called? This is called a beating from society. Can you stop talking like this? Her voice began to tremble. I feel really uncomfortable right now. I need you. What do you need from me? Do you need me to help you scold Lin Yuson? Or do you need me to help you raise your child? I'm going to abort the child tomorrow. Really? I've already made an appointment. That's your choice. It has nothing to do with me. Lu Yanzhou. She suddenly screamed. What do you want from me? Can I kneel down for you? I beg you, please come down and see me. Please say something to me. Don't do this to me. She cried heartbreakingly, so loudly that she could faintly hear it through the 2 layers of glass. I was silent for a few seconds. Soo-won, I said, do you still remember your birthday last year? She paused in crying, not knowing why I suddenly mentioned this. I worked overtime until 10 o'clock that day, so I took a detour to buy a cake from your favorite cake shop and drove 40 minutes to your house. When I got to your downstairs, I saw you getting out of a car, saying goodnight to the man in the driver's seat and kissing her on the face. That's my cousin. How many times have I told you, Dash? Your cousin drives a black Camry. I interrupted her. That man drives a white BMW. Your cousin's license plate number ends in 32, and that car's license plate number is 87. Sue Wan, do you think I can't even remember this? There was complete silence on the other end of the phone. I didn't go up that day, and I threw the cake in the trash can. Later you asked me why I didn't come, and I said I was working overtime and couldn't make it in time. You believed me. I laughed. Actually, it's not that I didn't rush over. I saw something I shouldn't have seen. From that day on, I knew what kind of person you were. He and I are just. Don't say they are just friends. I finished her words for her. You have too many friends, Sue Wan. You call all the men you have an affair with friends, so you don't have to be responsible for anything, right? She stopped talking and just cried. You never feel that you have done anything wrong. I continued. When you drink and fistfight with a man, you think it is a good character. When you are taken advantage of by other men, you think it is magnanimous. When you take selfies with people and post them on WeChat, you think it is normal social interaction. You always have 100 reasons to explain your behavior, but you have never thought about my feelings. I will never do this again. What happens to you in the future has nothing to do with me. I said. Sue Wan, let me make it clear today. I don't hate you, and I don't blame you because there is no need. You don't deserve my hate, nor do you deserve my blame. You were a wrong choice in my life, and now I have corrected it. Lu Yenzhou. Goodbye. I hung up the phone and turned off the phone. Under the streetlight outside the window, Sue Wan's figure was still there. She squatted on the ground, buried her face in her knees, and her shoulders twitched. I closed the curtains. This world is like this. Everyone has to pay the price for their choices. If Sue Wan chose freedom without a bottom line, he would have to bear the consequences of being abandoned by everyone. Lin Yusin chose prostitution for free and had to face the endless pestering of a pregnant woman. And I chose sobriety. The price of sobriety is that 2 years of love were wasted, countless late nights alone in an empty room, and my heart still throbs when I see a familiar scene. But this is better than being a green turtle for the rest of your life. Better than being a receiver. It's better to smile and say your wife is awesome than being slapped with a hat. I cleaned up the last traces of Sue Wan left in the house, including the Polaroid photos she had posted on the refrigerator, the 2 pajamas she forgot in the closet, and the half-used facial cleanser she used on the sink. All thrown into the trash bag. Then I took a shower, changed into clean clothes, sat on the sofa, and turned on my phone. Chun-Lei sent me a series of messages. Brother, I heard that Sue Wan went to your house? Don't be soft-hearted. I know a girl, my sister's colleague. She is very nice. Would you like to introduce her to you? She is also good-looking. The key is that she is very sensible and never fools around with men. I looked at these messages, smiled, and replied, Okay, let's make an appointment tomorrow. Chun-Lei replied instantly, Damn it, have you figured it out? I replied, I figured it out. Bye-bye, the next one will be better. Chun-Lei sent a thumbs-up emoticon, followed by a girl's WeChat business card. I clicked add friend. The avatar is a cat, visible in the friend circle for 3 days, and the signature reads, I like quiet plants and reliable people. He and Sue Wan were completely different. I leaned on the sofa and looked at the ceiling, suddenly feeling that I hadn't felt so relaxed in a long time. The feeling of being on tenterhooks and worrying about gains and losses disappeared, replaced by a long-lost sense of solidity. The phone vibrated, and the new friend application was approved. The other party sent me a smile and said, Hello, my name is Wen Yining. I replied hello, then watched the typing prompt in the dialog box flash 3 times, and finally a sentence popped up. Chun-Lei said you just broke up and asked me not to be too enthusiastic, but I think people who have just broken up need someone to talk to them the most. Are you okay? I stared at this line of text for a long time. Then I replied, Not great, but it'll be okay. The other party quickly came back. Yes, it will be fine. I'll treat you to milk tea tomorrow. Sweet things make people happy. I left. The night wind blew outside the window, and the figure squatting on the ground downstairs disappeared without knowing when. That's fine. Farewell to you. We will never see each other again. Complete text.